All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in his work, pushing out this gospel in all diligence, truth, faith, and sincerity. So yeah, the topic of this lesson is pretty much going to be centered around doing the work. All right, for all you brothers that was called to perform the services of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is what? To be a watchman. And being a watchman, you can't sleep on the job. You can't be slothful about being a watchman. You got to be ready to execute that office, man. And I want to say this for all you brothers out there that's not under any certain jurisdiction, so to speak. You're not a part of Great Millstone or any other camp out there for that matter. Yet, you have the proper understanding of these scriptures. Well, that's your cue, man. That's your cue to do the work. You don't have to have hands-on contact with a guy, or you don't need a brother to give you the green light when concerning doing the work. And Yahweh Shai made that perfectly clear in the parable dealing with the talents. Whoever the Lord gave those talents to, they was obligated to push those talents, man. They was required to flip that money. So if you could receive this knowledge, that means you have just received the talents from the Lord. And you ought to push it. And if you are not pushing it, then you're going to be found guilty of hiding those talents. And we know the outcome of that. You're going to be destroyed. So with that said, I want to entitle this sitting, Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent, which is an excerpt from Isaiah the 62nd chapter in the 6th verse. It says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. Yeah, and those walls are symbolic to the internet, man. All right? Walls, doors, windows. When you read Psalms, the 19th chapter, it outlines the fact that that's the vehicle that the Lord chose for this word to be pushed out, the internet, which is a fulfillment of Matthew, the 24th chapter, in the 14th verse, where our Lord Yahweh Shai said, this word shall be pushed and preached throughout the world. Then the end shall come, all right? So it says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. And all you guys make mention of the Lord. You guilty of not keeping this commandment. All right, because you guys, you salute Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah, you come up on the comment board, you send brothers blessings, you mention the name of the Lord, which the name of the Lord is not a fad, man. All right, a lot of guys come into this thing and they look at it as if it's just something you just go through the motions, man. The Lord didn't give you his name just to, throw it around. The name of the Lord is precious. So the Lord said, if you making mention of my name, then you should be teaching his word. All right? Now I want to look up a word real quick in this precept, because this applies to a lot of men. All right? And this is the definition for hold their peace. It says to be silent, quiet, still, inactive. And there's a lot of men that's guilty of that, man. They not active, man. They inactive in this ministry, man. When it concerns doing the work, they not active at all, man. All right? This thing is bigger than being a part of a brotherhood, just to associate yourself and identify yourself with a certain group. I'm Great Millstone, all right? Which that in itself condemns you, man. Because if you're a part of Great Millstone and you're not doing this work, that's basically an oxymoron, man. And I did a lesson concerning the millstone and the fact that that's spiritual, that the Lord designated us with that title. Because a millstone, when you think of a millstone, the whole idea of a millstone symbolizes grinding, man, and doing the work. And that's why the Lord gave us that tag, Salaki, for us to do the work. That's an omen. So a lot of you guys, you're out of place, man. A lot of guys that's a part of Great Millstone, yet they're not active, like the scriptures say, or like the definition right here say. It says to be silent, quiet, still, inactive. So if you're inactive, then you don't belong in Great Millstone. When you read the rest of these definitions, it says to be silent, be still, to be silent, exhibit silence, to show inactivity, be inactive, to make silent, make quiet, cause to be still. And this is an offense when you're a watchman, man. All right? If you got a dog, which, matter of fact, let me get the scripture, right? Because the Lord actually compare you niggas to dogs, man. If you have a dog, and that dog is not barking when people walk up on your yard or the mailman come, you know, that's the natural instinct of a dog. They supposed to bark, man. Why? Because they watching. But if they not performing that office, then that dog, you might as well get rid of them, man. All right? Anybody can come and bring harm. Anybody can break in your house. So for you guys out there that's not barking, then the Most High gonna get rid of you. This is Isaiah 56:10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Right, and these are qualities you shouldn't have when you're a watchman. You should never sleep. You should never slumber. And you damn sure should never not bark. Right now, you should be barking, man. The enemy is on the way. You see up in Chicago, all right, these UN troops, you know, is preparing to go up into Chicago. You got the internet getting ready to be closed down. Basically, Esau is getting ready to make a move, man. Esau is rolling in. You should be barking, man. The Lord set you up to be a watchman. And it tells you the penalty, Ezekiel the 33rd chapter. If you don't warn the people, then they blood gonna be on your hands, man. So I wanna look up another word right here in this precept. Yeah, they are dumb, okay? It says mute, silent, dumb, unable to speak. So if you're a watchman and you mute and you can't speak, then you out of season, man. You out of position. Really, you should just go back in the world, man. Because you're not cut out. You're not built to be a watchman, man. A watchman should speak, all right? Who's going to make a mute person that can't speak they watchman? So for you guys that's not doing the work, you're not warning the people, then we know that you're not a man of the Lord, man. All right? You mute. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119. And I start at verse 11. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Lord, teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. Right, so that's the way you serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. By speaking, man. All right, the Apostle Paul said that in 2 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, man. I'd rather that ye prophesy, man. So really you shouldn't be amongst the brothers if you just standing around with your hands in your pocket. You still filling yourself out, man. Hey, there's no room for that, bro. All right? The scriptures clearly outline your duty, man. Your duty is to prophesy. Does not the scripture say, cry aloud and spare not? Let me end off with one last scripture. Book of 2 Timothy, 4th chapter and the 5th verse. But watch thou in all things, right? Which lines up with being a watchman, man. Endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. And I want to look up one last word. I want to look up this word for evangelist. It says a bringer of good tidings, an evangelist. See? The name given to the New Testament heralds of salvation through Hamashiach, who are not apostles, right? And the Apostle Gabar did a lesson dealing with the heralds, all right? And the herald, his main attribute is his mouth, man. He speaks and he pretty much set the stage for someone else that's going to come. And that's our job. That's your job, all right? If the Lord gave you this knowledge, if the Lord gave you these talents, then your job is to do the work of an evangelist, all right? So with that, shalom.